Hey guys, this is a video on my daily routines as an autistic adult. I'm actually going to do an in-depth routine on my morning routine because I think that's going to be quite valuable for anybody, and also my evening routine. So this is a day in the life of me. This is a typical day. Usually I'm around doing like events and I travel around the world a lot, and I'm just kind of filming a lot of the time as well, making content and having meetings and stuff. So this is like a typical day where I'm not like doing anything out of the ordinary, like traveling the world, etc. So let's get into it. Okay guys, so first off, in the morning, I get up at 5 a.m. every morning so I can start what's called my miracle morning. So, which is a routine, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my miracle morning as a routine some other time in a different video because it's so big and it's so in-depth that I think that you'd benefit from it. So yeah, so I get up at 5 a.m. and I do my miracle morning, and it's super, super awesome. If you want to know what that is, leave a comment down below and I'll let you know when the video is out about my morning routine, which is just my morning routine. And without having my morning routine, everything else goes kind of out of whack, which actually happened a couple of days ago. So once I'm up and I'm cleaned and I've finished like my morning routine, which includes getting up, you know, going into the bathroom, having a shower, brushing my teeth and getting on with the rest of the day. So once I'm cleaned and I'm up and out, I finish my miracle morning routine. And then I get my breakfast sorted. So it's usually myself and my son, and I'm obsessed with Fruit Loops right now, so I'm just basically gonna have a bowl of Fruit Loops. And then I get my son's breakfast ready, which is typically like waffles and like yogurt and fun, cool things that kids eat. So that's basically what we do, and we do that. And we kind of like have breakfast together, and then I tidy all that up. So breakfast can actually be difficult. I'm only really able to cook certain things, and anybody who's on the spectrum will know that like cooking when you're on the spectrum is kind of difficult. You know, if you don't know how things are prepared, if you don't know what flavors and textures are prepared, and also I've got like sensory issues as well, so I can only eat certain foods and have certain foods without them being too gross and too weirded out. So basically we're limited, but luckily enough, you know, the baby only eats things like toast or waffles or yogurt, which is like really easy to make and they're already pre-made. But a lot of the time with food, we already pre-make it the day before. So Naomi and I have like, you know, we've worked stuff out together and we've made things together, and that's how we do it. And I know that that might sound crazy, but that's basically the life of someone who has like executive function issues and you know, don't really grasp those different concepts that easy. So that's kind of like how we sort breakfast out. And that's what we do first thing. So once we finished our breakfast, I sit down in this exact spot, and then I have a cup of tea and I go on my iPad, and then I kind of go through everything. Like I have a thing called Microsoft To Do, and I go through my to-do list. It's everything that I need to do in that day. And there's also another app on iPad Shortcuts that helps me plan 3 tasks that I need to complete within that day. Now, the reason I use all these task planners and all these apps is because if I didn't use these, nothing would get done. I'm a very motivated person, but my short-term memory loss and my ability to understand what I need to do at any one time has to be recorded and then alerted to me at that time that I need to do it. So that's how I get myself started. Once I've, you know, I sit down here and then I have my iPad and I have my tea, and then I kind of go through everything on my iPad for the day, which is actually a lifesaver. And without an iPad, I don't know what I would do, especially this specific iPad. I'll leave a link for this one down below, which is absolutely amazing. So it's kind of like one of those lifeline things where I have to get that sorted. Anyone who's on the spectrum, if you don't have like a daily planner or a daily schedule, it can get messy and you can cause meltdowns, which I try to avoid at all costs. So once I'm finished with breakfast and everything there, I head downstairs to the office, and then I get myself set up. So I have my laptop and my iPad together on the desk. So I've got like my schedules and to-dos on the iPad, and then I use the laptop for actually editing videos and photos and things like that, or heavy uploading and stuff like that, because there's certain things I can do on my MacBook which I can't do on my iPad, especially if I'm uploading videos for my, you know, my job, then that's what has to happen basically. So I have like reminders on my iPad and my iPhone to remind me to stop and take like a break for water, and because if I didn't have those, I would just carry on working, and then it gets kind of silly, and then I forget lunch, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon and you've not eaten all day or drunk any water. So I have reminders to remind me to do things like that. And then also round about lunchtime, Nomi will tell me like, oh, you know, we have to get lunch made. Remember, you know, the baby's going to go for a nap. I'm going to do lunch and stuff like that, which is kind of cool because it kind of keeps me on track and it keeps me in that swing of things. And again, having constant reminders, because when you're on the spectrum, it's not something that falls from your mind. It's kind of something that's just like put to the side. You know, the task that you're focusing on is the thing that takes up your entire time. So keeping track of all my tasks, like I said, I use my iPad for pretty much everything, and so I use the calendars app, I use Microsoft To Do, I also use the Notes app, and I use an app with my staff called Trello, where we can like map what work we've got going on and who's releasing what videos at what time and things like that for posting. So these are all very handy apps, because being like forgetful with short-term memory really kicks me in the butt sometimes, and so I need those apps to keep me on track. It takes anything from telling me to have a meeting, to then video creation or when to upload, and remembering that you know, meetings are the worst. I have like so many reminders to tell me like, you have a meeting with this person at this time. Today I missed a meeting today at 11 o'clock this morning. That's how, and it was even there and it reminded me and everything, and I still missed it. It's very difficult to stay on with those things when I'm focused on something. And I was actually writing out scripts for other videos and metadata for other videos, and then I missed that meeting. So it's really annoying that that happens, but it does happen, and that's the fact of reality, that it happens every day. I'd even forget to go to bed if I didn't have someone reminding me and telling me. So it's a very difficult thing to do, but we have apps, everything in place to help me out. So I want to talk about the morning before we get to like lunchtime. So from the hours of like 8 to 10 is quite hellish for me, because I actually suffer from anxiety as well, and I get super bad social anxiety with the postman or anybody knocking the door, putting packages through the door, or knocking the door to give us a package, you know. So all those things really worries me, and I know that between 8 and 10 the postman's going to come and it's going to be a difficult time, you know. I've had times where I actually am crying because I'm so overwhelmed with it. And then we got cameras installed, and then what happened is then I got Nomi, my partner, to actually answer the door to the postman and stuff, and I'd hide in the office, and it got really bad. It got really bad. So I'm trying to deal with that right now, but it does make me really anxious. So between the hours of 8 and 10, I'm really nervous and really anxious, and it's not a good time to catch me at that time, because yeah, I mean, it's just quite stressful. So I highly admire anybody who can do that and doesn't have social anxiety. I mean, that's super cool, but you know, it is what it is. So also in the mornings, I take a bunch of like vitamin supplements like B12 and other types of like energy booster vitamin stuff, just to keep my body running functionally. And also because I'm vegan, vitamin B12 is hard to come by. It's hard to come by from anybody really, but they actually give it to cattle, so that's how you get it through meat, you know, because obviously all animals are given B12 supplements, so you kind of get it through there. But since I don't eat meat, I don't have B12 supplement in my diet, so I actually have to take B12, but I take a bunch of other things anyway as well to keep my immune system going well, to help battle colds and all kinds of stuff. So that is what I do in the mornings, and it's really cool. And our baby also has some baby ones as well, which is pretty cool, because we know that, you know, he's getting enough vitamins in the day. But it's very important that I share that with you guys, because one of the things is that I get quite exhausted during the day. So when I take vitamins, they kind of keep me quite level with my energy levels throughout the day, which is pretty dope, and I think that's a pretty amazing thing. And for the vitamins to help that much, I mean, it's pretty amazing, right? So if we get to midday, basically what you see is that we'll sit down and have lunch together, all of us in the living room or around the table, kind of like an episode of The Big Bang Theory. And then we basically have planned the food on a planner. So we have a planner that's on the inside of the kitchen cupboard that says what meals we're having when. So we all prepare them the day before or the day of in the morning, and then all the meals are kind of like scheduled in. So we have everything pretty much prepared, even snacks down to a certain degree. And then so for lunchtime, we just kind of have those pre-made, you know, or pre-planned meals. We sit down and eat them, and then we watch probably a little bit of Friends, the TV show. We're sitting down chilling and eating, and then yeah, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so after eating, typically in like the early afternoon, we want to go out for a walk. So basically I've got this thing called sensory processing disorder, which comes comorbidly with autism, or co-occurring with autism. And what this does is it gives me a terrible depth perception and my spatial awareness. So if I try to put a glass down on the counter, I don't know how far away the counter is or where the glass meets the counter. And then another one like walking through doors. I don't know how far to open the door, and I'll walk into door frames and I'll bruise my arms and stuff. But I've been working on this thing called the sensory diet, which gives you like 2 hours and then another 2 hours and then another 2 hours where you should do a little bit of exercise to help proprioception, activation in the muscles. So usually in the afternoon, we'll go for a walk. Me, Naomi, and the baby will go out for a walk, and we'll do maybe about 2.5 miles of walking, maybe 3 miles, just to get like a nice good hour's worth of walking in. It's good exercise, it's nice to get fresh air, and we all do something as a family, and I feel it's quite nice. I really enjoy those times out, which is pretty awesome, and it helps with the proprioception, and it lasts another 2 hours, so I don't have those spatial issues. I mean, it doesn't take them away completely, it just actually helps take the edge off. Okay, so once the walk is over, I get back at my desk, and I'm usually either planning out new videos or editing videos that I've just shot, depending on what day it is. So usually at the beginning of the week I started planning out videos, and then by the end of the week I've started shooting and editing for upload for Thursday, Friday and Saturday. So that's pretty much what I do, and then I literally have a plan of everything I need to do in order. So I'll go through all those, you know, like there's a very extensive plan that I do to write a script, to make the metadata, and then to upload the video. So we go through that script quite consciously or conscientiously and make sure everything is ticked off on that list. So in the evening, usually I finish working about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'll come upstairs and we'll sit down to have dinner. And like, you know, we've already had stuff pre-prepared, so we just take it out of the fridge or wherever we stored it, you know, put it in the microwave, put it in the oven, and then heat it up and then get cooking. And then we go off the cooking plan, which I showed you earlier from the actual cupboard, which is basically our main go-to for everything that we need for doing that. So then after we finished eating, we get everything cleaned up, and then we bath the baby, and then he goes to bed. But while Naomi puts him in bed, I come into the living room, and then I kind of like tidy up and put things away and put them in their place, you know, fill the dishwasher, all that kind of stuff. And then I organize the living room, and then I kind of just take a few minutes to kind of debrief from the day, because I don't know what I've been doing. You know, maybe I've been out and talking to people, maybe I've had a lot of meetings, maybe I've been filming a lot of videos, and it becomes quite exhausting, and my brain can kind of get over capacitated. And so then I take a couple of minutes just to breathe, just to relax, just to chill out, and then just relax. So once Nomi's put the baby in bed and everything's okay, Nomi will come down, and then we basically set down a plan to sync my digital calendars on my iPad and my iPhone, which basically is the same one, which is basically iCloud's iCalendar. We use that, or Calendars app as it's now called, and then we sync it with our wall calendar, which is basically an analog calendar that Naomi actually uses to write on, to keep up to date and sync all of the things we got going on. Because basically she sits me down and says to me, Dan, have we got anything on the calendar for tomorrow? What have you got on yours? To make sure that I don't miss things in the morning, and especially things that I need to do ASAP. Like this morning we have to go to a dentist appointment, but now he's been quite sick, so I had to cancel that and call her. So she keeps me on top with all of those things, and I'd be completely lost without her telling me how to do these things or updating my calendars. These things are so important. I can't even stress how important these things are. But that's how we deal with everything in the evening. So we chill about 7 o'clock until about 9 o'clock, and we basically watch YouTube on the catch-up stuff, and then we kind of just chill out a little bit. Maybe we'll have some snacks, or maybe we're eating a little bit late, so we'll eat a bit later if the baby's gone down. You know, if it's been a bit difficult and he's had to have food before us and goes down. But usually we eat the same things anyway, so he would have eaten with us anyway. So once we've caught up on YouTube and everything like that, we might watch a little bit of Netflix, but like I said, it might only be 20 minutes, because you know we're only relaxing from 7 until 9, because we want to go to bed at 9 o'clock, because I'm getting up at 5 and then Naomi gets up during the night with the baby, and so I come down with the baby at 6 o'clock when he wakes up, and then we get a few hours sleep then as well to catch up on the times that she's missed while she's been getting up in the middle of the night with the baby, which I salute to her, because that is a very difficult job for any mama out there who does it, or any dada or anybody who deals with that. I totally sympathize with you, and it's amazing that you're doing that. Good job. So it's time for bed. So going to bed, what I used to do is I used to take 5-HTP, which is a sleeping supplement to help me sleep, but now I actually don't need to take that, because my medication that I'm taking actually does a similar thing to 5-HTP. It took a little bit of time to get used to and get into, but it works very, very well. So I take my medication, I brush my teeth, do all that kind of, washing up stuff, then get changed, get into bed, go to sleep, ready to start the day again. And one thing I'd like to mention is that I don't actually set an alarm for 5 o'clock wake up, because one of the reasons is that the baby's kind of in the same room as us. The layout of our house is a bit bizarre, so the baby's just off to the right of our bedroom with no door between us. So if I did have an alarm, it could wake him up potentially. So what I do is I just tell myself that I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and I wake up every day at 5 a.m. So if you think that this could actually help people, or it's interesting for someone to see, please share this video on Facebook and Twitter. That'd be super, super awesome, because we might be able to change somebody's life by doing that. You know, they might be like, oh yeah, I relate to that. So that's awesome. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please subscribe and click the next video card over here so that you see more videos from me and you don't miss one by clicking the subscribe button. And I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.